Let me begin by sending my greetings and salutations to you, comrades. My name is Dr. Toolio, Dr. Francois Toolio of the Toolio Institute. I will be your host of Tool Time. This action-packed adventure Tool Time, we examine master streams, their use, type, application, and spiritual ramifications, if you will.
Before we start our exploration into master streams, let us define what a master stream is. The IFSTA Essential Manual defines a master stream as any hose line flowing over 350 gallons of water per minute. What that is just a cute, large hand line, really. Let us go to the higher authority. Volume 2. Volume 2 says our master streams should approach at least 750 gallons of water a minute and then progress upwards. As far as master streams are concerned, bigger is better.
Let us begin our journey into master stream land at the slate of knowledge. Before we begin this, oh, slate of knowledge, oh, slate of knowledge, please impart us with your infinite wisdom. That out of the way, let us begin. Master streams are very handy devices to use in many applications. Let us begin with a structure. This is a hypothetical, theoretical structure. It is on fire, burning out of control. A deep-seated, fully involved situation. A classic case, if ever there was one, for the use of master stream devices. We will start with engine company applications. We will mark it with an E. Very good. The master stream found on most engines is going to be a Stang gun. It is a top-mounted deck gun device that you pump water up through and out of. Master streams, one characteristic about them is they use massive quantities of water. So when performing master stream operations, it is very wise to have a supply line. That done, we are ready to conduct a master stream evolution. This is the structure of origin. As you can see, the roof is still intact. So we are going to go through the vertical openings, which would be windows or doors in this case. We pump water up through our master stream and out, thereby extinguishing the very bad fire. There are several factors that come into play concerning master streams and their effectiveness. Number one, as we earlier discussed, water supply, a must. Once you get water to your master stream, nozzle selection. Hello, TV viewing audience. Dr. Toolio here on location in the bowels of Station 11. This morning, we're going to discuss nozzles. These are the devices that we put on these tips of our master streams to deliver water. There are two types of nozzles. Two types of nozzles. The two are fog nozzles and smoothbore nozzles. Different tools for different applications. First, the fog nozzle. This is the most common master stream fog nozzle we will find. It is the fog hog. The fog hog is an adjustable nozzle, meaning that you have to manually select the gallons per minute you flow through it. Woo, they want Dr. Toolio's money. Suckers, I live off the kitty some days. This fog hog is adjustable from 350 GPM all the way up to 1,000. This fog hog is most commonly found on the stang on the truck or the ground-mounted stinger. It is the classic fog. It comes out, the water comes out around this barrel, so it is a hollow tube, if you will. And then you can adjust it. It's an adjustable stream. So we can have a straight stream, which gives us reach and distance. Good for reaching and distancing to the fire. Or if you retract and screw the tip back, it is a fog nozzle. And what this does is it expands the surface area of our water. The white fog is very good for exposure protection, cooling. And what happens is these teeth, this ring of teeth Dr. Toolio shows you now, it spins as the water comes out, and it chops the water into little droplets. And this is how you make the big expansion of the water. The fog hog. Now, ladder trucks, elevated master streams, totally different nozzle type. This is the big fog nozzle. As you can see, it has a little electrical actuating motor. This does the manual stream manipulation. So this makes the stream big fog, straight stream. It's electrical, so you can control it from remote locations, either as the pedestal of the ladder truck, or there are some little selector switches up at the tip. With this type of fog nozzle, it is possible to put the master stream up and flow water through it and manipulate the stream with no one at the tip, which is a consideration to think about sometimes. This particular fog nozzle is automatic, meaning that the gallons per minute is controlled by the engineer. This is where the mood of the engineer plays in. We can flow GPMs of 300 gallons a minute all the way to 2,000 a minute through this nozzle. Now, some of the problems, these drawbacks to the fog nozzle, is in defensive operations, because a fog nozzle on a straight stream is still a hollow tube of water. So many times when you try to get the water to the fire, since it is hollow, there's no mass. There's a lot of style, but no substance behind it. So as it approaches the fire, it tends to evaporate into steam much more quickly. So for those types of applications, those big defensive, classical defensive operations, big deep-seated fires, the tool of choice would be the smooth bore nozzle. Now, we have an array of these smooth bore nozzles here. This center nozzle is our classic stacked tip. We have 4 tips basically that build onto each other. Very ingenious. And then we have a stream shaper, which we will discuss at length in a few minutes. And then this is a reducer, as the tip of the stream shaper goes to a 2.5 inch, and the reducer coupling goes 2.5 to 3.5. So we can use it in the ladder pipe situation. First of all, let us start with this nozzle. This is a 2.5 inch nozzle. It connects to a 3.5 inch base. It's very big nozzle. Bigger than we can use here in our applications, because we have no stream shaper with it, which we will discuss. But this nozzle, theoretically, you can flow gallon per minute of up to 1,800 gallons. We experimented with this. This is not standard issue. This is a very rare piece of firefighting equipment. This was on loan from the Brunacini Gibson collection. As you will see in these demonstration with these, it requires a stream shaper because the water tends to just fall out of this. It just falls out of it. You can't obtain very good pressure. Too big an orifice. It's the drawback to a large tip like this at times. Now, this is another beautiful new museum piece on loan from the same collection. What we have is a stream shaper here. And what the stream shaper does is it takes our water and it makes it straight. There are fins in here that run the distance of our stream shaper. And it makes the water go in straight lines. If it doesn't, as you pump it out, the water gets linear disturbances and it tends to diffuse out. And your stream breaks up soon after leaving the nozzle. As you can see in the examples, the videotape examples. This is a 2-inch tip right here. So we did a challenge. The challenge was modern day nozzles and stream shapers to yesterday's, the day of yore. We went head to head with them to see which created the better stream. You can see with this older stream shaper or straightener, it is 3 feet long and weighs 20 pounds. It has 2.5-inch connections. As is shown in this video, you get a very good stream as opposed to using the same nozzle without this stream shaper. Here we have the new 4-inch stream shaper or straightener with the 2-inch Pyrolite stacked tip nozzle. As you can see in this video, it also provides a marvelous stream. In fact, it produces a more compact stream than its ancient counterpart. A Dr. Toolio tip for success. When putting smoothbore master streams into operation, you always, and I repeat always, want to use them in conjunction with the stream shaper. Hands down, this one was the winner. So, boys and girls, this is the stream shaper here, approximately a 4-inch stream shaper versus the 3-foot stream shaper. Bigger is not always better when looking at stream shapers. There's some engineering that goes into these things. So, what we have here is the tip arrangement that we can flow out of. We go from 1 inch and 3/8 all the way to 2-inch tip. So approximately 400 GPM a minute out of this little sucker. Oh, Dr. Toolio, I didn't have my coffee today. 500 GPM. The cameraman is a hydraulical genius. To 2-inch, which is roughly 1,000 gallons a minute. Dr. Toolio is so very, very, very correct most of the time. So, as you can see, when you start off with your master stream, if you don't have a good stream, you can go up or down with tip size. They just screw on and off. It is that easy. And then you go from a 2-inch to a 1 3/4 inch, or whatever have you may. Very lightweight, made out of Pyrolite, you know, aluminum with a baked coating that makes the Pyrolite. Very strong, tough and strong. There we go. Now, the smooth bore nozzle, as we discussed, is the ideal choice for big, heavy fire knockdown because it decreases the surface area of the water. It makes a nice, tight, compact column. Basically, you are flowing water through a hollow pipe or tube. And this makes a very hard-hitting device. These are very dangerous because they could hurt a person. So you must take great care when using these smooth bore tips, as not to use them around personnel. Dr. Toolio is becoming very bored with this location. I feel that we should go back to this slate of knowledge. This particular master stream, we will make a smooth bore, because in our happy little world, we can make them whatever we like. Many factors come into consideration now. First, distance between the master stream appliance and the structure of involvement. You must be able to reach from the master stream to the structure. If you don't, then what we end up doing is we fall short, and then we create large puddles of water that do no one any good. So if this is a problem, there are some remedies and solutions. First of all, you may not have enough water supply to feed the size of the orifice you have selected of your master stream. One solution to this is get more water, either by putting a key pumper on this hydrant and thereby completing the hydraulic cycle. If this is not an option, perhaps you can pump your forward pumper at a higher pressure. But if you have maximized your water supply from this particular hydrant device, the one thing you may have to do is go to a smaller size orifice. Shut down your master stream, put a smaller tip on, and you will not get the same GPM, but you may extend your reach enough where you no longer create puddles. You do actual water application onto the burning fire, creating steam and conversion, thereby cooling the ignition temperature down of the combustible materials and extinguishing the fire. Another option that you may have, if you've maximized your water supply, is to elevate the loft of the stream to 45 degrees, defying gravity, and thereby lobbing water to the structure. Now, if your water supply has not been maximized, one option, probably the best one, is to go to a bigger size orifice, increase pressures, bring them up, and then you will get more water, because the larger the orifice, now this is with unlimited supply now, mind you, the larger the orifice, the longer the reach. And remember, comrades, when we are talking master streams, bigger is better. A point to be considered. So now, some of the factors we have is water supply, pressure, distance. Oh, slate of knowledge, it's harming with knowledge. Hear that hum. As we say, water supply, pressure, distance, orifice size, wind, speed, direction, humidity, weather. We will put weather here. And most importantly, the mood of your engineer. The most important factor is the mood of the engineer. Smoothbore. Now, one thing we have not discussed, when you elevate any time with the master stream, especially with smooth bores, one thing that we have not discussed is breakover point. The breakover point. This is the point at which the master stream reaches its zenith, and then it will come back down as a smooth column of water, cooling water. What happens with breakover points is you go beyond the zenith and you bring it up here. Well, you have defied gravity and there's a price to pay. It is the breakover point. Your stream starts to break up here, and it starts to break into individual droplets. So remember, the reason we use smoothbore tips is for reach, penetration, fire knockdown. When we exceed our breakover point and we start diffusing the linear flow of our water, it no longer remains smoothbore. It becomes more of a smoothie foggy. Now, another thing to consider is actual water application to the structure, to the burning structure. Very important. Now, in the example we have used, we are choosing vertical openings within this structure to apply the water. The reason we do this is because there is an intact roof. The roof is good. You will find when you apply water, whether it's master streams, rain, flood, wrath of God, whatever you have what may, when the roof is there, it will shed the water. That is what it is for. So don't squirt water on a roof that is there intact. It's a waste. And a lot of this will play into the mood of the engineer. He may feel like playing cutesy. You must evaluate the effectiveness of streams. Another problem you will see oftentimes is you are in the front of the burning structure. And you are up here, you have a limited range of vision. Well, sometimes you will shoot completely over the building onto engine, let's say engine 16. Let's say this is engine 16, this is engine 2. This is an excellent tactic if you're on engine 2. This is very bad. Lower your stream. Much more effective straight down sometimes. It's so beautiful. Let's examine putting ladders in the mix and elevated master streams, being that these are the most popular form that we will be finding in the free world today. More often than not, you will be operating ladder elevated master stream devices at larger structures. So we can stretch our structure on into infinity. Now, you are not using your master streams in just a defensive posture. You may be using it in a defensive area here, while you remain in offensive operations in other parts of the structure. These are very dangerous operations, and they must be coordinated. Safety is paramount. Placement is very critical. As you know, with ladders, if the fire is burning here, you want your ladder to have some kind of coverage where you can hit the fire itself while maintaining a cutoff point to the rest of the structure. So you want to be able to cover all of this ground here. It's very important. So placement anywhere around that offers you access to these points is acceptable. To quote the highest authority, Volume 2 states to place the turntable of the ladder adjacent to the walls you would like to protect. So here we would have good ladder placement. Same over here. That would be the most ideal coverage. Now remember, when setting your ladder up, it is preferable to have an engine on the inside of the ladder, between this affected structure and the ladder itself. Two positives to this. First of all, you have the option, if water supply is available, of course, of flowing a Stang gun. That is still a usable weapon, fireground weapon. And you are within 50 feet, so you have short hookups for your supply to the ladder. Very critical. When operating ladders on the fireground, you must follow the classic water tower evolution scenarios. That would include your ladder here. We will mark that with the L. Your forward pumper here, the E, hooked to a supply line, hooks into the ladder, and then a key pumper on the hydrant. Remember, key pumper, forward pumper in the hip pocket of the ladder. It is a must. Now, let's move on to the really heavy-duty, hard-hitting fire attack apparatus. Elevated platforms. We have several of these on our fine department. One of the problems with these is they have high friction loss in most cases. And water supply becomes a big problem. You may need to start farming out other fire hydrants to supply them properly. Now, all of the same rules that go with engine companies, Stangon, Masterstream evolutions, hold true with these types. Changing the tips, getting more reach, water supply, the whole schmear. Another thing that you have is sometimes you will see these apparatus operating and they will have two poor streams coming out of the tips. And we have two puny little streams like these, and the fire's over here laughing at it. This is not effective. You're creating big puddles. The best thing to do at this point is to turn one of these tips off. Make it go bye-bye. Thereby increasing the effectiveness of the other stream. The final form of master stream we will cover today, my fraternal comrades, is the ground-mounted stinger. This is a highly effective piece of apparatus. The beauty of it is you can put it into service after your apparatus have been committed and there is no movement involved. There's no shuffling of apparatus around the fireground, which is next to impossible during fire operations. When setting up a stinger, you first must play out enough supply line to place your stinger into the desired location. Less than 300 feet is optimal. Next, you take the stinger appliance, air current monitor in this example, of the apparatus. There are two parts, the appliance and the base. The appliance is removed by lifting a locking pin, then rotating the handle. It will then lift off. In this example, the base is removed by unscrewing it from a top-mounted coupling plate. Loop your supply line in a circle and place your stinger behind the supply line coupling approximately 5 to 10 feet. Connect your stinger to the supply line. Then secure your chains to the supply line coupling in front of the stinger base. Then secure the top of the appliance to the base. You should hear and feel several clicks when securing. Then screw the swivel mount and handle lock all the way down. Then check that the appliance is secured.
Okay.
If this is not done, something bad can happen, as is shown here. Adjust your nozzle in the most elevated position prior to charging it. This is a very important safety practice. When charging the stinger, have all personnel remain a safe distance away. When your stinger is safely flowing water, personnel should approach the stinger from the side of the appliance to make any necessary adjustments. The chains will secure the appliance to the hose. In this example, we have the nozzle all the way down, horizontal flowing water. To deploy the tips lower, it must be a conscious decision and caution must be used. Never force the nozzle down by screwing it without using the proper pin. This will damage the device. Use this pin closest to the nozzle to deploy the tips down past the stopping point. Never, ever use the top pin to do this or a catastrophe can result. Another Dr. Toolio tip is always be safe around master stream devices.